Hi, I'm Rabbi Paul Arberman from Temple Beth David in Palm Beach Gardens. This year's theme for the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, the theme is Orange the World. Orange like a verb. Orange the world, fund, respond, and prevent. Like in previous years, this year's International Day will mark the launch of 16 days of activism that will conclude on the 10th of December, 2020 this year, which is International Human Rights Day. Several public events are being coordinated for this year, including having iconic buildings and landmarks colored orange, the color that is chosen by the campaign. In fact, this week's Torah reading touches on the topic of violence against women with the story of Dinah. We read, "Vatetse Dinah bat Leah, asher yalda liYaakov, lirot bivnot haaretz." Dinah, the daughter of Leah, by way of Yaakov, went out to see the daughters of the land. As you may remember, a man named Shechem sees her and takes her by force. Vatetse means Dinah went out, but the Midrash teaches that she didn't just go out. What is meant, according to the Midrash, is that she went out, like out on the town, dressed inappropriately, meaning perhaps not covered up, or perhaps with lewd colors. The modern commentator Nahum Sarna adds that girls of marriageable age would not normally leave a country town to go to the city without a chaperone. Does she share responsibility for dressing provocatively or going out alone? I would put it this way. There is such a thing as bad taste in dress or the wrong clothes for an occasion. I'll go even further and say that it's not smart to go out alone in certain parts of the city at night. By the way, for women and men. However, everyone thinks that their standard of dress is correct and decent. The way many women in our congregation dress is great for us and simply not appropriate for women in a Haredi neighborhood. But it boils down to this. If a woman does not meet your standard of dress or behavior, then she is more likely to be judged as inviting or asking for trouble. And this puts the responsibility on the victim. I'm reminded that when Golda Meir was Prime Minister of Israel, she was asked to place a curfew on women to end a series of rapes that were happening in Tel Aviv, I believe. She said, "But it's the men who are attacking the women. If there's going to be a curfew, let the men stay home." So I say, let's teach ourselves, our friends, our daughters, wives, and mothers that there are, of course, common sense methods to reduce the chance of being a victim of any violent crime, including rape. For example, be aware of your surroundings when walking. Avoid dark and deserted areas. Use your posture and speech to communicate strength. But let's also teach ourselves, our friends, sons, husbands, fathers, that nothing they are wearing is a signal for you to touch or comment or, God forbid, attack. So, for example, if a woman I cared about was abused or attacked, I would ask lots of questions, and none of them would be, what did you do to bring it on yourself? This year, look for the orange-colored buildings and the anti-violence campaign behind it. And remember that you can make good choices of clothing or colors or bad choices, but it does not excuse the behavior of the attacker. And remember Dinah, who had her motives questioned for going out alone, even though the simple Torah text tells us, Vatetse Dinah, she went out looking for the daughters of the land, her friends. Stay safe, stay Jewish. See you next time.